Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Live with Alissa. I am your hostess, the consultress, bringing you conversations and information from the front lines of evolving your business. The S.I.M.P.L.E method is a 6-step process that allows you to stay in connection and in motion with evolving not only the strategic side of your business, the strategy, the implementation, and the metrics, but also the partnerships, the leadership, and the empowerment that it takes to really drive the business, create the community, and create the results that ultimately transform your life, your community, your family, and the world around you. Because living here in this age of disruption, we need tools like this to stay ahead of all of the acceleration and improvement that the world is doing. So today, we're talking here live about leadership. It's the 5th out of 6 pillars in the S.I.M.P.L.E framework. Like I said, we have strategy, implementation metrics, partnerships, leadership, and empowerment. Today, we'll go through leadership, and in the next session, we will address empowerment and beyond. So let's go and dive here about how we get to put our visionary skills to work in our own backyard. Leadership is something we always see and hear out there as leading others, inspiring others. And this externalization of leadership is kind of the status quo. The way people think about leading, they think about power over, power to. And yes, while that's important to be able to impact others, the bottom line and the anchor in leadership is you and how you show up. It is our authenticity. Because if all we're doing is externalizing, we're forgetting the most important factor, and that is our integrity. Has anybody ever heard the phrase, do as I say, not as I do? Yes? Yeah. And how does that make you feel? In the chat, just drop it in there for me. Any words that pop to mind. How does that land? For me, as you're typing there, I hear like, no bueno, like don't follow. Inequality, yes. Sneaky, exploitive, right? Do as I say, not as I do means like something's off, right? They mean well, but perhaps aren't doing what they say. A mentor of mine says, "Here, take my advice. I'm not using it," as a way to kind of encapsulate this type of leadership. So, would you follow someone who embodies that? No way, man. No way. So we're here to really talk about and contrast that with the type of leader that inspires action, that is authentic, uses that integrity for good. And this is what we get to put in place by being of service and value in our businesses. So now contrast that image of the do as I say, not as I doer with someone who you feel inspired by. Just recall that person to mind right now and settle in a little bit with how they've impacted you or how they've helped you think or pivot in this world. And on a scale of 1 to 10, drop in the chat, how well do you think they practice what they preach? 10. Yep. 8, 9, 10, somewhere on that top scale, right? We want to follow people who practice what they preach. We want to engage with people who are out there on their leading edge so that it can inspire and give us courage to live on our leading edge. Who wants to be that for the people who follow them? And for the people who they're meant on this planet to give inspiration, information, and implementation to. That is the baseline and the meaning here of our discussion around developing your own leadership for you and your goals in your business and how you make an impression on this world. So we get to hone in on how we want to show up. Who is the person we want to be? Do we say what we mean? Do we do what we say? Do we keep our promises? And is that the character we're putting out into this world? So, Alissa, how does this affect me and my business? Well, it's working on becoming the leader that you wish to see in the world, because that is what helps people to magnetize themselves to you, to become your advocates, your cheerleaders, and your resource bringers to help you create the impact and the projects that you are meant to bring to the world. So who do you need to be to become the achiever of the goals you've set for yourself? People don't follow perfection, right? This is a myth that we put on ourselves that as a leader, we think people are perfect. We think that they've got everything all figured out. that they never make mistakes, and that they know all there is to know, and that's why we grant them title of leader. Well, my friends, is a bunch of baloney, isn't it? Like, you know it as well as I do. So perfection's not the goal. Authenticity is the goal. Authenticity is what inspires people. So be willing to be transparent, to be real. And it can be really uncomfortable to show what we don't know. But in fact, that's the thing that allows people to see you as approachable and want to give to you. So I'm going to ask you to do 3 things right now to check your levels of authenticity right now. Get out a piece of paper and write down your biggest, your hairiest, your most audacious goal that you have right now in your life and business. I mean, really hairy. I mean, really audacious. Like the thing that your heart is calling you that maybe you don't think even is possible on some level. And we're going to take 3 measurements. How do you feel about it? How do you think about it? And how do you behave in reference to it? So write these 3 things down: feel, think, behave. And on a scale of 1 to 10, right now is your baseline. How do you feel about your momentum in achieving this goal? Is it something that's pie in the sky that has no reference or bearing to your life now? Is it completely off the charts? Or is it a 9 or a 10 that is very close, or you're on your way and it's coming to reality? How do you feel about it right now? And give it a number. Number 2 is, how do you think about it? When you lock in and you think about this big goal that you have, do you think that it's attainable, it's certain, you feel confident? Or are you entertaining more of the hamster wheel? Are you feeling the doubts and the repercussions and the what ifs and the scaredy cat brain waves? And give it a number. Scaredy cat brainwaves are 0 to 1, 2, 3. And the confidence, how are you thinking about it? 9, 10, 11. All right, maybe not 11. Only out of a scale of 1 to 10. And finally, how are you behaving? If you were to give yourself a grade of, I'm behaving as if this is the most important thing in my life right now, or it's really on the back burner. If it's really on the back burner, be honest with yourself and give it a 1. Or if it's really forefront and you are like, this is your one thing, you've cleared the deck and this is where your focus lies, give it a 10, somewhere in there. Now you have 3 metrics. What I want you to do beyond this training is to go back and envision, and we're going to do this exercise right here, right before we go to our live interaction piece, and drop in to this big, hairy, audacious goal, your BHAG, and imagine it already achieved. Picture where you're sitting or standing. Picture who's around you and what's going on. Picture this is already an accomplishment and you're celebrating whatever that next stage is that gets to go beyond it. And really embody that. And from here, pop into these same 3 questions. How are you feeling about it now? 1 to 10. How are you thinking about it now? 1 to 10. And how are you behaving towards it? And if your numbers are improved just from the simple visualization technique, these are tactical, practical pieces of how to develop your inner leadership so that you can attract the right resources, build the right community, and empower the right people by solving the problems that you uniquely are sent here to this earth to create. So I thank you for coming here and being with me for the leadership portion of this training. I will move over now to Q&A, and if you're catching this on the replay, mark yourself as done and send me an email and let me know how it went for you.